Remember the sizzle of aluminum as your mom put your favorite TV dinner on your tray? The smell of Salisbury steak or fried chicken filling the living room? Those were the good old days of quick meals while you watched your favorite show or movie. From old favorites to funky international TV dinners and boiling hot brownies to food that's still frozen, we'll take a tasty trip through time. Get ready to relive the flavors we loved as kids. But before we get into it, where are you turning in from? The classic Swanson turkey dinner. Picture this. It's 1954, and you're settling into your favorite armchair, the black and white TV flickering to life in the corner. But tonight's different. Instead of Mom cooking in the kitchen, there's a new star on your TV tray, the Swanson Turkey Dinner. This aluminum tray holds turkey slices, cornbread stuffing, buttered peas, and sweet potatoes. It's like Thanksgiving any day, minus the cooking and dishes. The packaging even looks like a TV, making it feel part of your evening entertainment. Family dinners changed. Everyone could grab a tray and eat together while watching TV. It mixed convenience with family time, all in one neat package. But now, I want to tell you about my dad's favorite, the Hungry Man classic Salisbury steak. In 1973, the Hungry Man brand hit the market, aiming at folks with bigger appetites. For just $1.49, you got a big ground beef patty covered in rich gravy with plenty of sides. This wasn't your typical frozen dinner. It was a feast for a hard-working American. The Salisbury steak was something special. Juicy, tasty, and swimming in gravy, it hit the spot for meat and potatoes lovers. Add in creamy mashed potatoes and colorful veggies, and you had the ultimate comfort food. Hungry Man's slogan, "It's good to be full," spoke to working men after a long day. It was more than a meal. It was a reward, offering a quick and satisfying dinner in one hearty package. I remember my dad always getting those, sitting next to me on the couch. I miss those days a lot. Did yours also like the Hungry Man dinners? Morton Twinkie Supper. If you grew up in the 1970s, you might remember a TV dinner that made kids cheer and parents scratch their heads. A hamburger, some sides, and a Twinkie? You're not dreaming. It's the Morton Twinkie Supper, a meal that mixed up dinner and dessert. This weird food combo had a Twinkie right there on the tray next to normal dinner stuff, and it only cost $1.25. My friends and I couldn't get enough of these TV dinners, and our parents liked how easy it made mealtime. Morton and Hostess teamed up to make this memorable meal, cashing in on how much we loved quick foods and sweet treats. Their ads showed off how fun and simple this unusual dinner was, trying to win over both kids and busy parents. While some TV dinners tried to be different, others stuck to comfort food. Nighthawk, steak and taters. Nighthawk Foods saw a chance to bring diner favorites right to your living room. Their steak and taters became the go-to meal for late-night TV marathons. This frozen dinner had a char-broiled, chopped beef patty that could rival any diners. Next to it were crispy, well-seasoned potato tots and a side of colorful veggies to complete the meal. Nighthawk knew what night owls and shift workers craved. They brought the diner experience to your TV tray, making it an affordable treat for many. For lots of Americans, Nighthawk meant late-night comfort food. It became more than just dinner. It was a reward after a long day, enjoyed while watching favorite shows. These frozen dinners met a growing need for quick, tasty meals that still felt satisfying. Libbyland Safari Supper. While our parents enjoyed their late-night dinners, we were getting our own special dinners. Remember when meals came with a side of imagination? In 1971, Libbyland launched its Safari Supper, the first TV dinner made just for kids. For 69 cents, children could dig into a fun meal right from their TV trays. Lion patties, meat shaped to tempt even the pickiest eaters. Designed like a colorful safari with themed sides such as tiger fries and bright veggies, centuries. Libbyland added puzzle games on the packaging, turning dinner into a game that lasted beyond the meal. These dinners were a hit with kids and parents alike. With cartoon safari characters on the boxes, they tapped into the Saturday morning cartoon craze, making mealtime exciting for children and easy for busy families. Swanson German-style dinner. Imagine it's 1965 and you're about to take a culinary trip across the Atlantic. How did a frozen dinner introduce a whole generation to bold German flavors? Swanson's German-style dinner was part of their World Flavors line, bringing Europe to your living room. You could enjoy tender sauerbraten, tangy red cabbage, and fluffy potato dumplings. It was like having a mini Oktoberfest on your TV tray. For many Americans, this dinner was their first taste of German food. The rich, savory flavors were nothing like the usual meat and potatoes. Some people loved trying new things, while others found it a bit strange. Even with mixed opinions, the German-style dinner found its fans. It tapped into America's growing interest in foods from other countries, opening the door for more variety in frozen meals. Who would have thought a TV dinner could teach people about different cultures, talking about different cultures? Swanson Mexican-style dinner. As we journey from sauerbraten to fajitas, a culinary revolution was happening in American freezers. But how close to the real deal were these meals? For about $1, Americans could now try Mexican-inspired food without stepping out of their homes. Swanson's dish usually had beef enchiladas with mild sauce, Spanish rice, and refried beans. It wasn't exactly what you'd find in Mexico, but for many families, it was their first taste of these flavors. The dinner was a very American take on Mexican food, to be honest. They toned down the spices for milder tastes and used ingredients that Americans knew and could easily find. It probably wouldn't have impressed anyone in Mexico City, but it did get people curious about trying new foods. Swanson's ads played up the fiesta idea, promising exciting and exotic flavors. Swanson fried chicken. Remember that satisfying crunch of biting into crispy fried chicken? Swanson brought that magic to frozen dinners. Their secret? Betty Cronin, a clever scientist who created a special breading that stayed crispy even after freezing and reheating. For just 98 cents, families could enjoy a meal that felt like mom's cooking any day of the week. The tray had crispy fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn. It was comfort food made for busy families who wanted a home-cooked taste without all the work. Swanson packaged these dinners to look like little TV sets, making them feel like part of TV night. Families could eat a tasty meal while watching their favorite shows. Up next, we'll look at a different kind of comfort food. Hungry Man Turkey Pie. While families enjoyed their crispy fried chicken dinners, Swanson was cooking up something new. They wondered if they could combine the comfort of a homemade pot pie with the convenience of a TV dinner. The result? The Hungry Man Turkey Pie, a meal that promised to satisfy even the biggest appetites. The turkey pie quickly became a hit. When you opened your oven, you'd see a golden, flaky crust covering a generous helping of turkey chunks, veggies, and creamy gravy. It was like having Thanksgiving anytime you wanted, all in one easy package. The turkey pie was a full pound of food, much more than earlier TV dinners. Swanson made these meals for people who wanted a bigger frozen dinner, especially men with hearty appetites. Making a good frozen pot pie wasn't easy, though. Swanson had to figure out how to heat the filling evenly without making the crust soggy. It was tricky, but when they got it right, it tasted just like a home-cooked meal. I don't know about yours, but ours often were not, right? Which TV dinner was your favorite? Share it with us in the comments below. Swanson corned beef hash dinner. In the early 1960s, more Americans were eating breakfast foods for dinner. Swanson jumped on this trend with their corned beef hash dinner. For $1.15, families could enjoy corned beef hash, baked beans, and eggs, a combo that hits the spot any time of day. This unique TV dinner mixed breakfast flavors with dinner convenience, perfect for busy households. The affordable and versatile corned beef hash dinner was a hit with families and singles alike. You would simply heat it up in the oven and could enjoy it right in front of the TV without much hustle. Such a good time. Morton Frozen Foods Salisbury Steak. As America's love affair with convenient meals grew, one company wondered, could you get a satisfying steak dinner for less than $1? Morton Frozen Foods was about to introduce a meal that would become a freezer staple across the nation. In the 1950s, Morton's Salisbury Steak Dinner hit the scene, giving families a hearty meal without spending too much. You got a seasoned beef patty covered in rich gravy with creamy mashed potatoes and sweet corn on the side. It was like eating at a diner, but right in your living room. Morton's idea clicked with busy households, especially as more women started working outside the home. They made sure their dinners were in supermarkets everywhere, so families could easily stock up on these quick meals. The Salisbury Steak Dinner became more than just food. It combined the comfort of an easy-to-make meal with the enjoyment of the TV. From American classics to British favorites, our next dinner took us across the pond. Swanson English-style fish and chips. Picture this. It's the 1970s and you're craving a taste of England. Swanson had a solution that didn't need a passport. Their English-style fish and chips promised to bring London to your plate, all for just $1.35. You'd get battered fish, crispy fries, or chips as the Brits call them, and maybe even some mushy peas. Swanson went all out, even wrapping it in newspaper-style packaging. It was like having a little slice of England in your freezer. The fish was frozen to stay fresh, and while it might not have been exactly like a British chippy, it still hit the spot when you wanted something different. To make it authentic, you would have to add some vinegar. But I was never a fan of fish and chips with vinegar. Plenty of Americans loved Swanson's fish and chips. It was new and exciting, a way to feel like you were traveling without leaving home. The ads really played up the British angle, which sometimes led to funny ideas about what real fish and chips should be like. Next up, we'll look at a real comfort food favorite, beef pot roast. The beef pot roast dinner brought the warmth of a traditional Sunday meal to any day of the week. Families could enjoy tender beef, carrots, and potatoes in rich gravy, all for about $1.50. The smell that filled the kitchen as it heated was almost as comforting as the meal itself. Making this home-style favorite wasn't easy for Swanson. They had to make sure each part cooked evenly and stayed tasty after freezing. Thanks to this careful approach, the dinner became a hit with everyone, from kids to grandparents, each finding a bit of home on their TV tray. Swanson's ads focused on how easy it was for moms to get a home-cooked meal without all the work. From hearty beef to comforting chicken, our next dinner was pure Southern charm. Morton 3-course chicken and dumplings. Morton's chicken and dumplings meal packed a whole 3-course experience onto one tray. For a couple bucks, families got a full meal. Soup to start, creamy chicken, and dumplings as the main, and peach cobbler to finish things off. You had tender chicken chunks and fluffy dumplings swimming in a rich, thick gravy that could give homemade a run for its money. Add some buttered corn on the side, and you've got comfort food at its best. Morton's called it 3 courses of country goodness, and it hit the spot for busy families wanting a taste of home cooking without all the work. The real, authentic flavors made it a hit everywhere, as folks all over fell for these comforting tastes. Do you still eat TV dinners? Double meatloaf, hungry man. Ever wonder what happens when a TV dinner decides that one serving of the main course just isn't enough? Enter the Hungry Man Double Meatloaf, a meal that dared to ask, why stop at one when you can have 2? For about $2, you got 2 thick slices of meatloaf, each with its own special touch. One slice had a crispy edge, while the other stayed soft and juicy. Both were covered in tasty home-style gravy that brought everything together. On the side, you'd find comfort food classics like creamy mashed potatoes and colorful veggies. This meal was made to fill up even the hungriest eaters. Hungry Man wanted to give hardworking folks a big dinner after a tough day. The double meatloaf quickly became popular, offering that home-cooked taste with the ease of a TV dinner. But meatloaf wasn't the only dish Hungry Man supersized. Extra large chicken dinner, Hungry Man. Picture a TV dinner so big it made other frozen meals look tiny. Back then, family size often meant just one serving. In the 1970s, Hungry Man rolled out their extra-large chicken dinner. This meal was huge, pushing what people thought possible for frozen food. The tray was packed with several pieces of fried chicken, big sides, and sometimes even dessert. Imagine opening your freezer to find a meal that could satisfy even your dad. The chicken was juicy, the mashed potatoes creamy, and the veggies actually looked good. It was like having a home-cooked dinner without spending hours in the kitchen. Hungry Man's ads focused on how big these meals were. Their slogan caught the eye of folks looking to get their money's worth. These dinners changed what people expected from frozen food. Swanson Salisbury steak. While some dinners went big, others stuck to perfecting the classics. And when it comes to TV dinners, one really stood out. Swanson's Salisbury steak dinner became a frozen meal icon, winning over a whole generation. This meal had 2 juicy beef patties, perfectly seasoned and covered in rich gravy. On the side, you got creamy mashed potatoes and bright green beans. It was a comforting mix of flavors and textures. Swanson's Salisbury steak quickly became a household name. For many Americans, it was like having a home-cooked meal without all the work, and it only cost $1.49. The meal changed with the times. In the 1980s, they started using microwave-safe trays, making it even quicker to prepare. In my eyes, this destroyed the era of TV dinners. Or what do you think? Banquet macaroni and cheese dinner. Remember the smell of melting cheese filling the house as the clock hit 5 p.m.? Banquet's macaroni and cheese dinner was one of my childhood favorites that defined an era. For kids rushing home from school, this cheesy treat was the best after-school snack. Banquet's mac and cheese promised creamy, gooey goodness in every bite. The bright yellow noodles and velvety cheese sauce often came with a side of colorful veggies, a clever way to sneak some nutrition into this comfort food. It was perfect for hectic weeknights, pleasing even picky eaters with its familiar, comforting taste. Having this easy meal in the freezer meant families could spend more time together, making memories around the dinner table. As time went on, Banquet added new twists to keep things interesting. They came up with different flavors and added ingredients like bacon, giving families more reasons to enjoy this classic dish. From cheese to seafood, our next dinner brought a taste of the coast to homes everywhere. Swanson's Fried Shrimp Dinner. Picture biting into golden shrimp without leaving your living room. This TV dinner was a nice change from the usual meat and potatoes. For $1.35, families got shrimp, cocktail sauce, fries, and buttered peas. Swanson said they used the best shrimp they could find, freezing them quickly after frying to keep that fresh from the ocean taste. You can decide for yourself if that was true. This dinner was a hit with people far from the coast who wanted seafood. Swanson's ads made it sound like you were getting restaurant-quality food right at home. Making sure the shrimp stayed crispy when reheated was tricky, but that didn't stop the fried shrimp dinner from becoming a special treat. It brought a bit of seaside luxury to dinner tables across America. Marie Callender's Savory Meatloaf. Enter Marie Callender's, a name that would shake up the frozen food aisle. What made their meatloaf dinner stand out among the other meatloaf options? In the 1980s, Marie Callender's grew from a pie shop into a frozen food hit. For about $2.25, you got a big slice of tasty meatloaf, rich gravy, and classic sides that tasted close to homemade. Marie Callender's knew their customers well. They sold these meals as high-end frozen dinners, focusing on good ingredients and tried-and-true recipes. The packaging played up the home-cooked taste, speaking to Americans who wanted easy meals that still felt comforting. Swanson Frank and Beans. Swanson's Frank and Beans dinner brought a taste of classic Americana to TV trays across the nation. For just 85 cents, families could enjoy juicy hot dogs nestled alongside savory baked beans, often with a side of crispy potato tots or a sweet dessert. This cheap meal captured the feeling of casual family gatherings and backyard cookouts. Kids loved eating hot dogs for dinner, while adults appreciated how easy it was after a long day. The filling beans and Frank's combo was easy on the wallet, too. There's nothing better than knowing Mom was making some hot dogs while you took your favorite spot on the couch and your friend flipped through the channels. Swanson's ads played up the idea of families eating while watching TV together. Beans and Frank's became a hit with busy households, giving them a taste of home cooking without the work. People loved it because it brought back good memories while fitting into their modern lives. Swanson Polynesian-style dinner. In the 1960s, as tiki culture spread across America, Swanson jumped on board with their Polynesian-style dinner. But were they able to live up to the expectations? For about $1, you got sweet and sour chicken, tangy pineapple chunks, and plenty of fluffy rice. It was like having a mini luau on your TV tray. These flavors were different from the usual meat and potatoes. Swanson's ads said the dinner could give you an armchair vacation, a taste of faraway places without leaving home. But making real island flavors work in frozen meals wasn't easy. The sweet and sour sauce often fell flat, and the pineapple could be mushy. Morton Frozen Foods Honey Glazed Chicken changed TV dinners forever with their honey glazed chicken dinner in the 1970s. For just $1.25, families could enjoy chicken pieces coated in a sweet honey glaze paired with classic sides. The glaze hit the right mix of sweet and savory, making it a hit with people wanting a tasty meal. Morton's marketing team knew they had something special. They highlighted the use of real honey to stand out from other chicken TV dinners in their glaze. They even worked with honey producers for seasonal promotions. Stauffer's Lasagna. In the 1980s, Stauffer's brought an Italian classic to freezers across America. Their frozen lasagna promised restaurant-quality flavor at home. For about $2.75, families could enjoy a premium meal without the hassle of cooking from scratch. Imagine steaming layers of pasta nestled between savory meat sauce and melty cheese. The smell alone could make your mouth water. Stauffer's lasagna tasted like a trip to your favorite Italian spot or grandma's kitchen. Making the perfect frozen lasagna wasn't easy. Stauffer's had to get creative to keep everything tasting fresh after reheating. They came up with special packaging and cooking steps to make sure dinner felt like a treat. But sometimes it was burning hot on one side and the center was still frozen. But there's more international food. Stauffer's French bread pizza. Till this day, I love a nice pizza in front of the TV. Stauffer's started things and shook things up by asking, who needs a plate for pizza? In the 1980s, Stauffer's rolled out their French bread pizza, turning frozen meals on their head. Imagine biting into a crispy baguette topped with tangy sauce and melty cheese. It was like having Italy in your living room while you watched your shows. As teens, we couldn't get enough of Stauffer's French bread pizza. It was the go-to snack after school and at sleepovers. Just thinking about the feeling of peace and happiness when everyone gathered around to eat at a sleepover makes me so nostalgic. Parents loved it too. No dishes to clean. This tasty, easy-to-eat pizza helped Stauffer's become a big name in frozen foods. Chun King Chinatown-style frozen dinner. In the swinging 60s, America was hungry for something different, and Chun-King stepped up to the plate. They brought Chinatown flavors right to your TV tray, all for just $1.50. When you opened up your Chun-King Chinatown-style frozen dinner, you'd find a little taste of everything: chow mein, egg rolls, and even a fortune cookie to finish it off. It was like having takeout at home, minus the wait. Which of the TV dinners were your favorites? And did I miss any? Let me know in the comments below, and let's continue with another classic: Swanson Meatloaf Dinner. For decades, Swanson's Meatloaf Dinner was a go-to meal in American freezers, and it is one of the more popular dinners on this list. At just 98 cents, you'd get a hefty slice of meatloaf with gravy, plus mashed potatoes and green peas on the side. It was like having a home-cooked meal without all the fuss. Swanson tried hard to make their meatloaf taste like Mom's, even getting those crispy edges just right. Marie Callender's Creamy Pot Pies. While some dinners stuck to the classics, others took comfort food to new heights. And then there was Marie Callender's. Remember biting into a frozen pot pie that tasted like Grandma made it? That was a frozen food revolution. Their pot pies quickly became the star. Peeling back the plastic showed a golden crust, hiding chicken or beef in rich gravy with veggies. These weren't run-of-the-mill TV dinners. Marie Callender's used good ingredients and old recipes. You could taste their commitment to family dinners in every bite. Or maybe they just really played me with their marketing. At about $2.50, these pies gave you a taste of home without spending hours in the kitchen. Marie Callender's ads focused on how easy their pot pies were to make. They sold it as a quick meal that still felt special. It was like getting a hug from your food. Swanson Swiss Steak Dinner. This classic TV dinner takes us back to hearty, home-cooked meals with a game-changing twist. Imagine enjoying a steakhouse quality meal right in your living room. Swanson's frozen Swiss steak dinner promised exactly that, and it stood out from typical TV tray options. This dinner featured Swiss steak in a rich tomato gravy with mashed potatoes and peas on the side. It brought the comfort of a home-cooked meal to American dinner tables. Swanson used liquid nitrogen to freeze the steak, keeping its flavor and juiciness intact. Priced at about 98 cents, this meal was one of Swanson's fancier options. It met the growing demand for easy-to-make, high-quality meals. Swanson's ads showed how families could enjoy a hearty dinner without spending hours in the kitchen. If you want to indulge in a little more nostalgia, I highly recommend this video. You'll love it.